guys, what's going on? This is Taurus P111. I want to welcome you back to the channel. Today we're going to answer the question, the Taurus PT111 Millennium G2 guide rod, is it time to upgrade? Alright, well the first thing I want to say is I'm not being paid or endorsed by Lakeline LLC for any of these opinions that you're about to hear, right? Now, when it comes to the PT111 Millennium G2 guide rod, there are quite a few complaints online. There's videos on YouTube, there's comments and forums about people that have had problems with their guide rod. So I'm going to explain what happens. Okay, you've got this rear lip right here, okay? You've got this coil spring, very simple, simple design, right? What can happen is just, I don't know if it happens at a certain count of rounds or if a part just simply wears out, but the coils start to skip off this back lip. And what happens is it causes the firearm to lock open. I've seen several occasions of this where people have shown this on video, what the problem was that happened, and they would show close-up pictures of their guide rod. Or you'd have coils that would get overlapped with each other, and again, it causes the gun to basically half lock open and not function. I believe that this guide rod is essentially an all-polymer construction with the exception of the end cap and the lip. Okay, your front cap is all polymer. So it functions, it's fine, okay? There are guide rods out there that are all polymer where guys don't have any problems with it. What I have not seen are some extensive round counts where people show 1,000 rounds they've run through this or 2,000 or 3,000 rounds they've run through this without any kind of a guide rod issue. So as a preventative, you do have some options on what you can do. There's a couple companies out there that you can go through if you want to buy an aftermarket guide rod. Now, as for me, I only have experience with one aftermarket guide rod company, and that was Galloway. What it was is I had a Smith & Wesson SD9 VE that was having some serious jamming issues right out of the box. I was trying 3 different kinds of ammo. When I took the guide rod out, it was flimsy. I mean, I could almost flex the thing in my hands. And I was shooting on a hot day, and the back lip, what was going on is the back lip on the old guide rod was bending. It was like bending back, and I don't think it was putting enough tension on the slide for the slide to function properly. So I ended up going with the Galloway unit, and I was happy with it. Well, when it came time to look for an aftermarket guide rod, and this was just kind of off the advice of other people online, I decided to go with Lakeline LLC. I'd read a lot of good stuff about their product. I really didn't know much about them. They sell quite a few upgrades for cars, KAHR pistols, not CARS, and also the PT111 series. There's a few different models that they carry parts for. And one of the parts that a lot of guys recommend you go with is the stainless steel guide rod combo. So just kind of some features about this. We're looking at 100% machined stainless steel construction and design. It is very robust. You've got much thicker lips on these edges. They claim, if you go to the LLC website, they give you a lot of information as to why they do this. In fact, if your gun even jams open, and whether it's running the old guide rod or the new guide rod, you can call them and they'll walk you through the steps on what you need to do to unlock the gun. You know, granted, you want to go off their advice and so on. Now, that's just taken from their website, and those details can change at any time. The guide rod has a noticeable difference in heft to it. I don't know if this necessarily is a thicker diameter metal than versus polymer that you get on the old guide rod. And maybe the old guide rod is metal. I can't tell. It's just that it's almost like frosted or painted. And so I'm going to assume that it's all polymer. I mean, when you look at the rod, when you pull the slide back and check it out, it's just, it seems like it's all polymer all the way around. So I'm going to assume that it is, except for the caps and the lips. Okay. Again, the springs I basically look to be about the same diameter, but Lakeline claims that they use the highest quality spring material that they can get. The nice thing about this is whenever you wear it out, you can get a new set of springs for $7 that you can change yourself. You just follow the instruction manual and basically go in the reverse order of what they tell you to do to disassemble the guide rod. There's a million videos on YouTube that teach you all about this. $35 for $34.99, and I think it's a couple bucks more if you want the black, well, whatever they call it, coated or painted end cap. Also, the guide rod screws on here at the front, whereas they claim that the Taurus unit, you can tell when you look at this, when you chamber back the slide, from what I can see, this appears to not screw on the shaft, and it seems as though Lakeline says it doesn't, that it screws on at the rear. So the way that it puts tension on the guide rod, it's more beneficial to go with their unit because it properly places tension on the guide rod where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to keep this around in case I'd ever have any kind of failure, but I'm just going to exclusively be running this. And I almost want to start my round count over on the handgun because this is such a crucial component on the firearm that I mean, to me to say, well, I put 500 rounds through. Well, yeah, but now I've only done 100 rounds with this guide rod. It was a different recoil impulse. It wasn't unpleasant. I would say that if anything, the recoil was maybe dampened more than what I experienced with the factory guide rod. Now, granted, this is not broken in. Okay, I need to put a lot more rounds through it, but it was 100% functional, and I didn't have any jams, failures to feeds, failures to return to battery. I did have one failure to fire, but even on the double strike mode, the round did not go out. And I showed that round off on my last range test, and you could see that there was a definite impact from the firing pin on the primer, and the round just simply didn't go out. So that was one failure to fire on 100 rounds of Winchester white box. Okay. Yeah, I do recommend that you get one of these as an upgrade. If anything, it's just a precaution. It's just a preemptive, you're preventing the possibility of a guide rod issue down the road, especially if you're somebody who puts a lot of rounds through your PT111 G2. You pay so little money for that firearm that it leaves quite a bit left over if you want to buy ammo. So again, I'm going to keep this around because I've got family members that have these, and if they'd ever have a problem with theirs, I could give them mine and they wouldn't have to wait for Taurus to send them one. Now, they can call Taurus and get a replacement, obviously. I don't know. I'm assuming it's a free replacement. I believe on Jay Dalton's video when he called customer service for Taurus, they sent him a free replacement. I have heard of a few other people having to pay $39.99 for a replacement unit. So I don't know what Taurus is going to tell you if you call them. You do have a lifetime guarantee on the firearm, but I don't know if they consider that a wearable item or component. I think Jay Dalton's was defective, so that's why they replaced it. It had some serious issues. I believe it got bent and just for normal use, and so obviously they replaced it. Yeah, so there we go, guys. All right, so the upgrade, one thing I want to do real quick is we're just going to bust out the scale and just see what the weight difference is between the two. But again, robust, engineering is solid. I mean, this thing almost feels all over-engineered, but not so much to the point that it's going to impact its functionality in the firearm. So again, I'm going to go with it. If I ever have problems, if it would bust off the end or if it would bend or have a problem, you guys are going to know about it first. I would definitely put it on video and tell you because I'm the one telling you to use this. Now, use this at your own discretion. Technically, this is a gun modification. Not the kind of modification that I think would get you in trouble, say with a jury if you ever brought up on a self-defense charge, but this could void your warranty. I don't know. I have not called Taurus to ask them. If you read the fine print in the manual, it says anything that deviates from the original construction of the gun could be considered a modification and therefore could void your warranty. So that's the one thing you could run into. And as somebody asked that question in my video, they said, hey man, is that going to void my warranty? And I said, I don't know. And I looked at my manual and it said modifications could void the warranty. And I said, yeah, but here's the deal. I would rather spend $40 and take a chance on a part that's not going to fail and have the gun function when I needed to save my life than to have to worry about a potential for a jam up or a lockup. Okay. I mean, like I said, this isn't one or two occasions where this has happened on the gun. Am I going to say it's a defective part? I don't know. I guess it depends on maybe how heavy of a round you're running through your firearm. What kind of conditions you're using the firearm under. All these, when they're manufactured, there could be some inconsistency in the build. I'm not going to rip on Taurus's quality, but you don't know. I mean, you never know. And mine has not had an issue yet. But again, I've only had about, 400 or 500 rounds through that firearm, 400, 450 with the original guide rod, and 100 with the aftermarket unit. So there you go, guys. Lakeline LLC aftermarket unit. Let's go ahead and drop this on the scale real quick, and we'll see what the weight difference is between the two, just because some of you might be wondering. And overall, like I said, I've noticed a little bit less of a recoil impulse with the new guide rod, especially when I sat there and ran 2 mags through the gun. I was on target. I was shooting good. I really felt more confident when I was using it. I know with my SD9VE, granted that was a Galloway unit, that sucker would go into battery with authority. It would snap back where it needed to, and you felt like the gun definitely was much more authoritative in its functionality. It was less sloppy. Okay, and that's the whole point behind these parts. So let's get the scale real quick, and we'll see what the part weighs in at on the scale. Okay guys, I use this scale for all my cooking and baking around the house. I can say that it's dang near spot on. So stock, guide rail, and spring. 1 ounce, pretty much right on the notch, 1 ounce. Okay, not definitely a heavy part. Okay, no big deal. Let's go ahead and recenter that. Okay, all right, so Lakeline LLC guide rod. Okay, this is going to drive me nuts if it's not centered. There we go. Okay, Lakeline LLC part, weights. Okay, about 1.5 ounces. Okay, almost on the verge of 2 ounces. So it weighs just about double. So anyway, I don't know if that's going to prove, but it might show you that your money is definitely worth it. So should I upgrade to an aftermarket guide rod for my PT111 Millennium G2? Yes, 40 bucks for just the price of a couple boxes of ammo or just the price of a dinner. You could have a nice, reliable part that's going to work in your gun. If I have any problems with this, if it's jamming, I'm going to run several types of ammo through the firearm to confirm it. I will call Lakeline and I will tell you guys back, because to me it's important that you are safe when you use your self-defense firearm. Okay, guys? So there you have it, guys. There you go. That's my information for you. That's the wisdom I can impart on you. When it comes time to get an aftermarket guide rod and spring, it doesn't seem like maybe a big deal. Why did I have to make a video on this? I don't know. It's just one of those things where you contemplate these purchases. You know, for some people it's just a given. They're just going to go ahead and buy it and that's it. But maybe some people need some advice, or they're just not sure. They don't even know where to start. And that's what I want to bring to you guys in the videos. All right. So I want to thank you guys for joining in. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching. And please like, please subscribe. Check me out over on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media formats. You can pretty much find me. And we're going to be bringing you a cleaning video here very shortly, maybe even this evening, on a pistol that's being loaned to me by Stan, the owner of SS Pawn, from his private collection. As you know, guys, Stan always hooks me up with really cool firearms that he owns. And I've got kind of a neat one here. It's going to be fun. I've never shot this brand before, and it's going to be sweet. So, all right, guys, so I want you to have a great night. I want you to have fun. Have fun, be safe, and as always, we will talk to you soon. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Bye.